Our starting point of this hour is in Africa's largest economy, Nigeria. Bola Tinubu has been sworn in as the country's president in a colourful ceremony held in the country's capital, Abuja. That event is attended by thousands of Nigerians and several foreign heads of state as well. Tinubu was declared the winner of the elections held in February this year, and he takes over the reins of power from Muhammadu Buhari. The 71-year-old political veteran got just 37% of all the votes cast in February, beating his main rival, Atiku Abubakar, who polled 29% of votes cast. Let's bring in Ajek Mangut. She's been covering the inauguration of Bola Tinubu as Nigeria's president earlier today. She's joining us now from Abuja, the federal capital. So, Ajek, the president has promised investors unhindered repatriation of cash from the country. But what exactly is his plan to move to a market-set exchange rate rather than the multiple ones and the capital controls that Nigeria has right now?
Well, Rama, the statement that the President Bola Tinubu made in terms of repatriation of funds was actually to sort of boost the confidence of investors, especially when you look at the fact that airlines have funds trapped in the country, over 700 million from ticket sales that they've not been able to repatriate out of Nigeria. And so him making that statement would be to sort of boost their confidence and also to attract more investment into the country. And of course, the issue of the multiple exchange rates that we've seen in the country, the president made mention that he plans to, have a united or have a unified exchange rates in the country. But most of what he said is in broad terms. He has said that in the coming weeks and days that his team, which would also be announced in the coming days and weeks, would sort of give more details as to how he intends to go about this plan. But we do expect that to unfold when this team is announced, and then they will give details. But as it is right now, there's not much details as to how the president intends to unify the exchange rates that we've seen. There's the official rate, which is a little over 400 or nearly 500 to a dollar. At the parallel market, we have it's more than 700. Of course, the airlines also have their own exchange rates to sort of cushion the effects of having their funds trapped in the country. But we do hope to hear more on this in the coming days and weeks as the new president announces the key position and, of course, his economic team.
Right. And another issue that he also spoke about in his speech, phasing out of petroleum subsidies. But his predecessor, Muhammadu Buhari, he did essentially the same thing several times. In fact, he actually called the petroleum subsidy program unsustainable more than once. So the question then becomes, if Buhari was unable to actually stop spending money on fuel subsidies, will Tinubu be able to actually fix a problem that his predecessor could not?
Well, Rama, many Nigerians would be hoping that he will be able to deliver on some of the promises that he has mentioned. And one of it is the removal of subsidy. But then, like you said, the past administration actually mentioned that subsidy would be removed by June this year. And Tinubu has gone ahead to say that in his inaugural speech that the subsidy will be removed. But we do not know what sort of plans he has in terms of cushioning the effects or that, the removal of subsidy would have on the country, because the country has been paying subsidy on petrol for decades to make it affordable for Nigerians. So when it is removed, the price of petrol per litre is expected to go up than what it is. It's already even rising, even with the payment of subsidy. And so when it's removed without any form of plan in place or any form of measure in place, we're likely to see ripple effects like high cost of transportation, high cost of foods, and every other thing that is tied to the use of petrol in the country. But then again, as he announces his team in the coming days and weeks, we should be able to hear more concrete plans on what the president intends to do to ensure that he cushions the effect on the removal of subsidy.
Indeed, as I say, the devil is always in the details. One last question for you, Jack. The president focused on key issues here: tackling insecurity, reviving economic growth. Those are the big ticket items in his speech. But these are also largely the same promises made by his predecessor back in 2015. There was a feeling of deja vu looking at that speech and comparing it to what we saw some years ago. And Buhari failed, for the most part, to deliver on those promises. What makes Tinubu's approach different?
Well, Rama, what would make it different is the fact that this is a new administration, and so Nigerians would have to hope and trust that the approach that this new government is going to implement is going to be a bit different. We're expecting to see a new team, economic team, security team coming into this administration. And so what Nigerians would have to do or rely on is to hope that this time around things would be done differently, given the fact that this is a new person that is in charge of the country. And of course, when he brings in the new security team, the economic team, they would be able to now, chart a new course for Nigeria and ensure that, there's the level of inflation goes down, there's more creation of jobs, there's the unemployment goes down. Of course, the reduction in the poverty level in the country, which the president has promised in the months during his campaign and up till today. And so what Nigerians will have to do is to hope that, and then to also give the new president a chance to actually fulfill his promise. It's just day one, so we do wait to see in the coming days, in the coming weeks, the plans that the president will be rolling out and how he intends to implement them.